You're tuned into BuildHer Media. We are all about economic empowerment, bringing you interviews from amazing women of color worldwide who defied the odds, beat statistics, and became successful founders, creators, and entrepreneurs. Be sure to follow us, subscribe, and hit the like button on all our social media. Go to buildher.co.uk, the ultimate online space for girls and women of Black origin. We are sisters moving forward.
Welcome. So I am so happy and pleased to be joined by Addman. Hi, Kay.
Hey.
And Kay is the founder of a wonderful organization called Our Sisters Network. And I'm here today to find out more about Our Sisters Network and how she put this together and used the power of crowdfunding to make this a reality. So Kay, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. So we'll dive right in if that's okay with you.
Let's go.
Lovely. So for those who don't know, what is Our Sisters Network?
Okay, so Our Sisters Network is a social enterprise as well as a learning community. So basically the idea behind Our Sisters Network is that it's a community where you can continuous learning is a part of the community. We have the community in 3 hubs, and the 3 hubs is professional development, personal development, and entrepreneurship. And within those 3 hubs, we're building the community still. It's still quite young, baby.
Yeah.
But within the community, we will be offering workshops, webinars, face-to-face learning, as well as like coaching for anyone who's kind of looking to always learn more new things to take their life into a new trajectory or take their lives forward.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, the 3 hubs covers different areas, and the areas of learning is not just for, let's say, your entrepreneur. There's an area for that. It also covers, the woman that works a 9 to 5, maybe she does a side hustle, whatever it may be, as well as at the base of it all is the personal development, which for me personally is very important to have that a part of the community, because I honestly believe that we have to always be developing as a person, and that covers health, mental health, as well as even just physical health as well. So that's pretty much the foundation of the community, is the idea of continuous learning, and in doing that in a network sense, in that you always feel supported, you always feel like you have women that understand you, get you, and you have that personal connection with these women within that network.
I love that. I'm big on personal development, ongoing development. So
Yes.
Anything that kind of supports and nurtures that kind of environment, I think is fantastic. So Thank you so much for creating something like this. And I want to know, what was the inspiration behind it? Like, why did you feel this was so necessary?
Okay, well, I am, if you don't know, can't tell, but I'm from New York. And I moved.
We can tell, honey. We can tell.
Yeah, it is, girl.
Love it.
And I moved here about just over 10 years ago. And when I first moved here, initially I I signed up to, everyone knows, Meetup. Because of course I'm new here. I don't have a huge family circle here. My family circle here is about pretty big, no friends, nothing. And so I signed up to Meetup. Just a little backstory, and I was just like, I want to meet people, and I want to, get out there. I'm not necessarily a social butterfly, but I'm not necessarily an introvert either. But I wanted to meet up. I kept going to these different networking events. There was in London, and I was meeting different people in different circles, and it was really great. But the one thing I did realize in going to a lot of these networking events was that you get loads of like inspiration, lots of information, and you leave and you get really fired up. When you leave these meetings, you get really fired up and you have these great ideas. But I realized I didn't then have anyone to speak with, anyone to go to. There was no necessarily space for continuation of what happened. And so a lot of times you're kind of going back into yourself and feel a bit alone, or not feel supported, or not kind of know what to do next. or you'd have to pay ridiculous amount of money to access the person that gave you this information.
Yes.
Or whatever it may be.
Yes to that. So
Yeah,
frustrating.
It's the seed was planted from there,
Mhm.
obviously, and then over time I kept kind of playing with the idea, and it took me many years, to be honest, to finally come to this formula, in that I wanted to marry the idea of inspiring women, starting there, because obviously, you know, as a woman, I feel like we already have these issues within society, you know, growing ourselves. And so that was one. And then the second piece came in, and that was, I don't just want to inspire women. I love Black women. I love what we do. I love how we do it. I say it proudly.
Amen.
And I'm just like, okay, you know, I want to inspire Black women. And so it grew from there to, I just don't want to just inspire, but I want them to always be learning. I want them to get in the idea that we always need to be growing, learning something new, applying this knowledge, going out and getting information. I started kind of talking to different women and saying, what was your issues in going forward with your idea? What's holding you back? And a lot of women that express that what's holding me back is lack of information, B, not feeling comfortable in certain circles, not feeling comfortable and or supported in certain circles, and C was kind of like the obstacles that when they did have that bit of information and go out, try to get whatever they needed to get going, whether it's funding, whatever it may, getting in the right place to speak to the right people, even in the workplace, you know, growing in the workplace, they did not feel like they were represented or they had a voice. And so it all just came together for me. And then I started formulating the idea, really, and the idea landed at this, and I just kind of been working at it over the years. And I think I soft launched the idea with our first, what I call Sister Talk session, which I did in London.
Okay.
And it was just an intimate conversation with a bunch of women, and it was amazing. So from there, it's kind of, now I'm just trying to take it forward into an actual full-fledged business.
Amazing.
You know?
And when was this soft launch? When was your initial kind of meeting? When did that happen?
That happened about 2017.
Oh, wow. So it's quite a while.
It was quite a while.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's one of the myths that people think, that you come up with an idea. This is actually almost about, I would say, at least 8 years in the making.
Wow.
From the point the seed was planted.
Yes.
To just kind of roughing and playing around with it. And I mean, obviously, between then I had kids. You know, I work a full-time job as well. And different things happen over life, that you put the idea down, you pick it back up, you put it down, you pick it back up. But 2017 was the first Our Sisters Network event.
Amazing.
And that's when I built my own community online on Meetup as well. So with that, it's just been little bits and bits and bits and bits. And I took some time myself to kind of go off and learn things as well. I do have a background in professional development.
Okay.
So I do have a heart and believe strongly in professional development. So I worked for a few years within an accountancy, professional accountancy body.
Okay.
As one of the leads within the professional development department. So there was lots of learning for me. So I did take a step back and wanted to learn as much as possible. So there's a little bit of that and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, why it's taken that time.
Yeah, but I'm really, really glad that it's like 2020, you were like, no, it's now.
Go time.
Go time.
Exactly.
Time to take it to the next level.
Exactly. Yeah. So
amazing.
that's where I am with it now. It's like, yes, let's go.
Amazing. And just so it's absolutely clear, who is Our Sisters Network for? Who's your ideal client or customer or member?
So I built Our Sisters Network to help Black women. It's not exclusive, but at the same time, it's inclusive. But at the same time, the foundation, the heart of it, is for Black women, for our, advancement and improvement, and having our space to say, this is my space. This is what I do. This is the people that I connect with. I understand your struggle, girl. I get it. I understand what those, microaggressions are in the workplace. We get each other, that kind of thing. So, but it's not, exclusive to, just us, if you will. As long as you completely respect and understand,
Mhm.
absolutely, join the struggle, get on board, support us, do what you need to do. But you just need to be able to understand that, yeah, we have a whole nother set of issues that for us, it's important that we have our space and our,
Okay, I have to stop you there. Just go back and say that line again about our own set of issues. Just repeat that. For those who didn't hear it in the back, say it again louder.
Okay. We have our own set of issues.
Yes.
People say, women, it's really hard for women, and it's such a sad statement to make in 2020. I mean, I think with, as women, we've come leap and bounds, but then we have that extra layer that we are black, not just women, but then we're black women, and so we do have that extra layer that of issues that we have to combat in the workplace as entrepreneurs, going out to get a bank loan, speaking to finding resources, whatever it may be. We do have that extra layer of barriers and issues, and so we have to fight twice as hard, 3 times as hard, really. We have the glass ceiling sometimes. I've been in the workplace myself, and I've advanced within the workplace, and you get that look like, okay, you've gone too far, little one, calm down. You know what I mean? I've had those issues.
Yes.
I've blatantly had those issues.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it's the idea of empowering each other, and not just empowering each other as in getting each other all riled up, but giving each other the proper information on how to get over those issues, not to live hung up on those issues, but to be empowered to get past those issues and get to the next level, whatever the next, however we need to. And also, it's important to show each other and that there are women who have gone to the next level. Representation, for me, representation is a huge thing. Absolutely. Sometimes people don't know if they don't see it. Absolutely. They don't believe it. They don't know it can actually happen for them.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And for those, what you're doing, people always have something to say. And, some people, what do you kind of say to those people who might feel like having our own things, or having something that is exclusive in a way, or that cater specifically to a certain demographic or a certain type of person? What do you say to those people who say it's a bad thing, or it's reverse racism, or anything else as ridiculous as that I've heard before?
Well, for one, it depends on who the comment comes from. If someone says outside of, the oppressed, if you will, I don't believe we're oppressed, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
I don't live in an oppressed frame of mind, but let's just.
But it's real.
It is. Exactly.
But it's real. Yeah.
My first comment to them would be, it can't be reverse racism. I personally don't believe that I can be a racist because I'm black.
Exactly.
You're not oppressed. You've never been from an oppressed situation, so I'm not racist. But anyway, I have actually myself experienced people come to me in the inbox, whatever it may be, and say to me, why? And to be clear, this has actually come from black women. Why are you doing that? Why is it only black women? Da, 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 da. Or I've had even just people who are friends of mine go, it's a bit cringy. And not for nothing, I'll say this, it is more cringy culturally here than in America. I do find a lot of women here cringe at that word, go, oh my God, like, don't put us on the spot like that, or, oh, that might be a little bit offensive. I will say this, like I said before, I wear it on my sleeve. I am black. I am a black woman. If you haven't noticed, you know today. I do not apologize for being black. I do not apologize for supporting black women. I'll never apologize for that, and that's why I can proudly.
And you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to.
I shouldn't. And you know what? Like I said before, there are so many resources out there that do not cater to us, and I will never apologize for creating something that completely caters to us.
Exactly.
It's just not going to happen. So I don't have to explain the mechanism. Just know that I'm not going to apologize for it anytime soon.
Yeah. And you actually touched on something that I've noticed too, in that in America, there seems to be a higher level of pride when something is black owned, or for the black community, or championing or catering specifically to black women. The attitudes are different. I think the UK, we are a little bit behind in terms of, you know, having that same sense of pride and
Yeah.
unapologetic, the way we carry ourselves unapologetically, and have just being proud to have our own spaces and our own organizations, etc. I think we're slowly catching up. We're getting there, we really are. But I think, what you felt is absolutely real, because I've noticed a similar thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
completely. I mean, to be fair, coming from both sides of the fence, I can kind of understand it where it comes from here. Culturally, we are a lot more diverse here. I get that. In America, there is that really blatant racism / segregation, that kind of thing. Here, we are a lot more diverse, and I think that's a beautiful thing. That's the wonderful thing about, if you can, I always say to my friends, if you can leave America, go. Go, please. You learn, and you learn so much, and your mind opens up. And so I do appreciate that here. So I do think there's a little bit of that, where people gasp and initially go, really? Do you really need that? Is that necessary? So some of it is not necessarily from a place of shame. Some of it's just from a place of, they feel like that's not necessary. Like, we all live together. But here, people do need to understand that the racism, aggression, segregation, whatever it may be, is very micro. It's always hidden within,
and covert, and
yes.
Yeah.
But the reason it's becoming a lot more now, and when I first started the network, promise you, I was getting a whole lot more DMs now than I am now, because obviously now culturally we've brought in inclusion in the workplace, and now you have people that you hire and they have these titles about, diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
And it's become a thing now. So it's a lot more easier to.
It's in fashion now.
It's in, thank you. That's exactly the word. It's in fashion. It's like you hire someone, and no disrespect to anyone who this is your job title, by the way. But there are companies that hire someone to say we have that, but let's be clear, it's actually just the janitor.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like, we've done the diversity thing. The janitor he meets the bill.
That's hilarious.
It's the truth. And it's like, it's the janitor or the admin or the receptionist. But let's go any higher, and it just gets washed and more washed. So, it's becoming a thing. What is this, a fad or like a little fashionable thing to wear on your sleeve now? Even when you search through Instagram now, it's like every other day I see a new network or something pops up, and it's like, we're for Black women, we're for Black. And it's lovely to see, but at the same time, I giggle, because I'm like, I've been doing this, bitch. I've been rocking my
since day one.
I've been popping my shit for a long time now.
No, I love that. And I think, what you said is absolutely true. I think the climate now is just, about in the past maybe 2 years or so, I've just noticed this radical shift in people's attitudes, and especially from, ethnic minorities and our communities and the Black communities. There's just this new sense of, we're out and we're here, and we're proud and take us for what it is, and just unapologetic, and online spaces are becoming more and more, and I think it's a fantastic thing.
I think so, yeah. And I think the more we push that agenda, is the more that it will be respected, is the more we will be brought to the table to have the discussion as to, advising and or educating companies or banks or whatever it may be, as in, we have a place in society, and you have to respect that.
Absolutely.
So I think the more we push that agenda, the more we make them understand that, what Black women are doing amazing things. We're probably one of the biggest, market in terms of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
We're out here and we're doing things, so you cannot just push us under the rug anymore. You need to fund our businesses. You need to do these, because guess what? When you do this, then your society will be flourishing.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a conversation that needs to be had, and it needs to be shown. And thank God for social media now.
Thank God, and technology. Yeah, it's very, very true. So talking about technology, how and when did you first hear about crowdfunding?
Right. So crowdfunding, I've learned about crowdfunding for quite a few years now. I think crowdfunding in general is obviously its own brand, and everyone has probably come across it in one way or the other. The particular sector of crowdfunding that I used, which was NatWest Back Her Business, which was in partnership with Crowdfunder, I hadn't known about that at all. Like, it was the big secret under the rug. I don't even remember how I found out about it. I think I was literally just Googling randomly, and it came up in like a feed.
Yeah.
So it was like the best kept secret, if you will.
Yeah.
But crowdfunding in general, our friends have done it before. Other people have done the crowdfunding, and obviously there's different companies that do this, has the same idea. But you know, NatWest Back Her Business was literally, I must have stumbled across it. I think I stumbled across it in a web search. Yeah.
Amazing. And from kind of deciding, what was it that made you say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to use crowdfunding as my platform to raise some money for my organization. You know, at what point did you decide that?
It was, okay, so it was at a point where I felt that, you know what, for years I knew about crowdfunding, didn't utilize the platform, but at the same time would complain a lot about not being able to get certain things off the ground. And it was just like, oh, I can't do this because I don't have enough, or I can't do this because, I'm doing, I need to save for it, or whatever it may be. And so it was just one day, it was just kind of like, it's an option, use it.
Yeah.
You can't, there's a solution for everything. At worst case scenario, it just doesn't work. But it's an option, and not only is it an option, but it's an option where someone's saying, you can be given money. You don't have to do this, or you don't have to go for a bank loan, or you know what I mean, whatever it may be. So that's kind of what made me just go for it. That and the fire in my gut that was just like, I need to do something. I need this. I need to get this off the ground. I need to, fix the problem, basically. And obviously the problem was funding, which is a lot of people's problems, which is funding.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more of do something, try anything. And so I got to that point where it was just like, I'm going to do crowdfunding. That was pretty much it. It was just like, let's go. The driving force behind it, there's a whole other story.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about that. But from deciding to use the a crowdfunding platform to actually having your campaign go live, how long was that whole process?
That wasn't very long in terms of when I made the decision that I'm going for it. It was
going live.
Yeah, it was probably, I want to say probably 24 to 48 hours for me.
What?
Yeah.
48 hours?
Yeah. But I mean,
you decided, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do crowdfunding. I'm going to try and raise some money. And 48 hours later, your campaign, your video, your write-up, everything was live.
Well, they took their time to make it live. But from the point that I did everything to the point that I submitted it and said, just do it, it took me about 2 days.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That must be the fastest I've probably ever heard.
Oh, there's a story.
Amazing. So we're going to come back to the story. But, for those who want to do this themselves, do their own crowdfunding campaign, what was the first thing you actually did from after you decided I'm going to do this? What was the next thing you did?
So the next thing I did was deciding, obviously, that the platform I would use was Back Her Business. I went for that because I connected with what NatWest was presenting within that scope. Okay. And obviously, it was crowdfunding for women-owned businesses. Yeah. Not only that, my point is do your research, basically. Yeah. Whatever crowdfunding engine you want to use, do your research. I connected with that obviously because it was women. Not only that, because it takes you out of that huge scope and it puts you in a smaller bowl. Okay. And that's very important as well because crowdfunding within itself is a massive platform. Yeah, it is. You go on, you might get lost in the trail. Very true. I loved how easy the information was to get to, cut and dry. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to get it done, and this is what happens at the end. I love that. I love their mission. And so that was how I decided eventually I'm just going to do this one here.
Okay.
Go for it.
So you chose the right platform for you. This was obviously before BuildHer was launched, obviously.
Yes, yes, I didn't know.
So it's okay, but now whoever's watching
You're
this
there.
is live.
Yes, yes,
So
exactly.
after choosing your platform, what was the next thing you did?
So the next thing I did was obviously went on, read through their, whatever their rules and what you needed to do. And then the hard part is obviously the write-up.
Okay.
It's kind of like your pitch, if you will.
The pitch, yeah.
Yeah. The good thing was, I'm already at that point. I already had kind of like, the pitch there because I already have the website and I have, within my own library,
Yeah.
I have my own write-up. And so it's very important that you get that bit right. It's always going to change. As your mission and your vision and things shift, these kind of things will change.
Yeah.
Get it right, but don't think about it too much. So, my pitch, if you will, obviously that was the longest bit, writing those parts. Filling out the actual form wasn't too bad.
Okay.
But it's just kind of writing up what you're doing, making sure that your mission sounds right, things like that. That was probably the hardest part.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the next part really, was just getting signed up, and then doing that write-up and making sure you're kind of hitting your points.
Yeah.
Because it's only but so much, you can write. So you want to make sure you get the point across.
Get to the
exactly
point.
What you're doing.
Yeah. Just think like, okay, somebody who's going to be reading my pitch or my story, I just, what the purpose of it is what's the point? What is the point of what you're doing?
Yeah.
Why should I care? Why should I contribute or donate?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of it? Just straight to the point, factual, but still somewhat entertaining or interesting to read,
Exactly. And it's very important for you to bring across. I think what a lot of people get caught up on, and I know there's all these rules that's around as to how things should be done, perfectly and things like that. I think a lot of people get caught up as well. And I think it's very important to have a unique selling point. That's very important. Don't get me wrong. But I think a lot of people get so caught up in that zone, trying to differentiate themselves from everyone else, that they get stuck, or they say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. It's very hard to write, to put into words your thoughts, your ideas. It's almost like you're looking at yourself in the mirror. And as we know, we are always judgmental of ourselves. We're always going, that's not good enough. That's not good enough, So it is a hard process to do, because you have to be honest in saying, this is what I'm doing, and, this is my mission. But somewhere between being passionate about what you do, and knowing that, believing in that, what I'm doing is going to work. And, whether or not it sounds great and exciting to you, or whether or not it sounds like you'll never be reinventing the wheel. Someone is doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's still you, and it's still the unique selling point is it's you.
Yeah.
It's your idea.
Absolutely.
And whatever you bring to the table, it's going to add to the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
So, I say go for it and don't think about it too much, but make it sound interesting too. Don't be so corporate and buttoned up. Go for it.
I love that. And you've actually already answered my next question, because I was going to ask, like, what advice would you give to someone who, anyone, or a man or a woman who may be watching this and they're considering using crowdfunding as a fundraising tool, but they're still on the edge, they're still unsure, they're still nervous if they can really do it, or they have some doubts. Like, what advice would you give to someone like that?
One, go for it. Like I said, just do it. Just go for it. 2, spell check.
Spell check.
It sounds silly, but seriously,
so important. Yeah.
So important. Have someone read it over. Be honest.
Yeah.
And then bring your true self to the project. Bring your personal story if you need to. Because people will always connect with a personal story.
Yes.
That's just something you can't take away from. And that, once again, that is your unique selling point.
Yeah.
It's, why am I doing this? A lot of times it's connected to your personal story. Bring your personal story to the table if you need to. And just don't think about it too much. If you overthink it, you won't do it. And definitely don't compare and comparison. And write exactly what it is you're doing. Go through your points. Just make sure you're answering your whys, that it's clear. Everyone gets your mission. Don't be over wordy and confusing everyone. Make sure it's clear, it's concise, it's honest, it's your vision, it's not someone else's. And like I said, spell check and get someone to read it over. It sounds silly, but boy, it matters.
Yes. And one of the things that drew me to your campaign when I came across it was the simplicity of your write-up and the video that you accompanied in your campaign. And for those who don't know, most campaigns, I think it's about at least 85% of campaigns that have a video attached to it do so much better than campaigns that just have the write-up or just have the pitch. So videos are so powerful in increasing the amount of funding that can be raised, because I think it's because, like you said, it's personalized. People can see there's a real person behind this campaign. You're communicating, in most cases, you're communicating with your prospective, supporters and backers. And with yours, I believe you kind of used a clip of one of your meetings.
That was our first event.
Yeah. It was like a clip from one of your meetings.
Yeah, it was like I said, this is the whole go for it thing, because I initially, like you said, I completely agree. I was like, oh, I need a video. But then I kept going through the videos, and it was our first event, and I was like, oh God, the quality. But I said, I'm going to go for it, because it wasn't about the quality of the video. It was about the quality of what was being said in the video.
Absolutely.
And so I just chose the quality of what was being said to be louder than the actual quality of the video itself. And I was like, no, I'm going to post it. So I went for it, and I just used it. And I was like,
I love that.
A whole grainy video from 2017, intimate chat about a bunch of women. But what was being said resounded with a lot of people. And
absolutely,
just watching the video alone, you get the idea.
Yeah.
And like you said, people don't really, in this society, people don't read much anymore. And especially if it's too long and wordy, they're like,
they switch off. But video is still powerful.
Yeah,
and
so
I loved it.
You gotta pop your iPhone up and talk to us.
Yes. So don't be put off by thinking you need to have this amazing video. You need to have a full videography team, an editing team, and all of these wonderful things. It's really not necessary to do your campaign. Just a straightforward, effective video is all you need. Exactly. And it worked for you because I contributed to your campaign. So obviously I connected with the video.
Yes.
I connected with your content, what was being said in the video. I connected with your whole campaign, and with that you were able to raise close to £5,500, which is absolutely amazing. So clap. Congratulations.
Thank you.
£5,500 is from strangers. It's not an easy thing to do at all. And I think it shows the power of crowdfunding,
Absolutely. I mean, the amazing thing, and it shows the power of word of mouth. Oh my gosh, I learned about word of mouth in a whole nother way. Obviously you have family and friends that donate, but it's just it's but so much family and friends you have that is just, what I mean. And to be funny enough, like friends and family, they're usually the ones that would do 10 pounds and complete strangers were giving hundreds. And I was like, who is that? But it was from word of mouth. And like as long as you got the word out, it was like, I would tell my friends, I was like, listen, if you don't have it, all I need you to do is tell someone.
Yeah.
That's all I need you to do. Please go tell someone.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I had friends who would took it to their workplace and was like, look, a friend of mine is doing this. One of my friends, as a matter of fact, she did that. She took it to her workplace, emailed all her colleagues, and was like, yeah, whatever, they do it, they don't do it. Literally the same day, at least 3 or 4 of her colleagues just came on. And they were giving up to $100 and whatever. And I was like, mouth wide open, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And they were giving me messages like, amazing, go for it. People will give. And that's what I think, that part is a little bit cringy in the beginning. and people be put off by it. I have to be honest, it's very cringy to ask. For me, it was. I was like, ugh. And you will be put off by that process, but you just have to go for it. You have to forget everything, all your hang-ups, and just literally open your mouth and ask. If you don't ask, you don't receive. Closed mouth don't get fed.
Exactly. And you touched on the kind of marketing aspect, and you said your friends and family, and this is true for most campaigns, friends and family will be your initial supporters, and as they should be. They will be your initial supporters, but after that, what exactly did you do to market and share your campaign to a kind of wider reach?
So initially, like I said, we started with friends and family, and the great thing with the particular platform I used was that they do coach you through the process, and they do initially tell you, and it's a little trick. They say, don't go live with your campaign to social media or anyone until you initially go to like friends and family and get a little bit of funding on, because then when you go live to complete strangers, it looks less like a scam.
Yeah.
There's actual people leaving comments. There are actual people who already have raised the money.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So once I got a bit of money, maybe my first 1,000 or something on, I then went to the wider masses, which of course you go to your Instagram, I didn't really use Instagram. I mostly use Facebook, because Facebook is very personal. So I chose the route Facebook. It's a lot more personal than Instagram. Instagram is like this massive world of a bunch of people. 90% of them you don't actually know. So I went to, Facebook and posted it there. I posted it in the Our Sisters Network Facebook group, and things like that. As well as I have a meetup group of about just over 150 women. Posted it there as well.
Nice.
But a lot of it, Daniela, a lot of it was word of mouth. Okay. It's literally getting, in your WhatsApp groups, getting like the amount of WhatsApp messages I kept sending. And don't get me wrong, I was very methodical, because once again, it is cringy, but I am very much like aware of, not being overbearing.
Yeah.
And some people can do the overbearing thing and it's not be offensive. It's fine. Me, I couldn't do the overbearing thing. I was just like, it's not my style. I can't do it. Nope. I draw the line. I think at some point my mom was like, stop it. Get out there. Send the message again. And I'm like, Mom, no, I can't. I just can't stop. Just stop. I'm not sending it. You know what I mean? But the overbearing thing, I was respectful of people's space, but I did just literally go into your WhatsApp, go through your list. And I think a personal touch is also important. If you contact me, don't just necessarily make it a group thing. Contact your friend and say, hey, girl, listen, I need you to do this for me. Don't just group it and go, hi guys. People know when they're being told in a group message, and 9 times out of 10 they'll just ignore it. And they're like, oh, you didn't even say hi to me. Like, you know what I mean? So try to make it as personal as possible. Contact your friends personally. Contact your, send the word of mouth out and say to them, listen, there are a few things you can do for me. And I actually bullet point that. And I was like, here's how you can help me. Donate, word of mouth. What, you know what I mean? I was bullet pointing that. This is how you can help me. Like, you don't, if you don't have it today, the campaign runs till then. Make sure you get all those points in, so they know this is when my campaign goes live. This is when it goes down, and then obviously reminders, kind of leave it for a bit and then come back in and go, we're at the peak now, and little messages to kind of get everyone riled up, or share your excitement and share your journey with them. That's very important. Sharing the journey with people, so they know that they feel like they're a part of it. They feel like, oh, like it's a bit of an exciting journey for them as well. Yeah. So don't take the money and then disappear. And never come back again.
And how do you do that? How do you share the journey with them?
Well, there were 2 ways on the platform itself. Like if they, you've come on, you've donated, and you can sign up or say you want to update or whatever it may be. You can leave a message on the platform, or you can send out email blasts and say, this is where, oh my God, I've hit my first, 2,500. Thank you guys. That kind of thing. Even in WhatsApp, I was sending, messages going, guys, guess what? I've hit this milestone. So just sharing these milestones and your excitement, and coming back going, oh.
You're just keeping them updated. Keep people updated.
Keep people updated. And another thing I think was important is even at the end of it all, just to be able to say thanks and to say, guys, this is where is it going? Unfortunately, Corona happened, but, I knew what I wanted to do specifically with that funding. And so when I started the ball rolling, I sent a message out to people going, this is what I've done, so it's important as well, because people want to know, and especially the ones that really believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's sort of smaller, but to just keep them updated and say, listen, this is what's happening. So yeah, just keeping people milestones, just milestone updates is important.
I love that. Thank you so much. And why do you think a platform such as BuildHer, which has recently launched, why do you think a platform, thank you, why do you think a platform like BuildHer is necessary?
Okay, the thing that I loved when I went onto the platform, obviously, is because it supports Black women, it supports women, and I think it's really important because, and the formula in which it's done as well, it's not so, like, it's not overbearing on either anyone who wants to contribute or anyone who wants to pitch and things like that. It's like a community within itself, and I liked that idea. I liked what it represents. It's important because, again, having more options out there allows people to feel empowered to get on with it, and not just sit back and go, I don't have the option, or no one understands me, or now that BuildHer exists, someone can go, oh, crowdfunding, it's too large of a platform, it's too much noise, and someone can say, oh, why don't you check out BuildHer? And something key that I saw that you did there was the idea that I think it's no more than 6 at a time.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because like I said, crowdfunding is a massive platform.
You touched on it before. I think you said, the other larger platforms, and I have felt this too, which is why it resonated with me. You go on there and there are hundreds of different campaigns at any one point, and it's like death by too many choices.
Yeah.
You don't even know who to support or what to support, unless you've been directed to a particular campaign by, somebody's marketing.
Yeah.
But if as just going through the platforms in itself is just, it seemed very confusing, and I just thought, I don't want our women to get lost in the noise or drown in the massive sea or ocean. So yeah,
exactly. It's like, it's your moment, it's your baby, it's your moment. Have your moment, you know what I mean? So that was really, I thought that was a really good thing that you've done there.
Thank you.
And that stood out to me when I had a look through the website. I was just like, oh, that's amazing, actually. And then that your contributors and your funders will be able to go direct, quickly see what they want to support, and go from there.
Thank you so much for that. And just to wrap up, where can people find out about you, about our Sisters Network? Where can they go?
Okay, so first place you can go is our website, which is www.oursistersnetwork.com. You can sign up, get newsletters. The best way to really keep in touch is to get the newsletter. We're building that out and making sure that we're in contact with our members more frequently. It's free to register at the moment. You just go on, click, get the newsletter, and that's the best way to reach us. Outside of that, we are on social media, on Facebook under the same name, Our Sisters Network. We are also on Instagram, Our Sisters Network. On Instagram, we're probably a lot more because, we're a bit visual. I'm a bit visual and things like that. So we do communicate quite a bit on Instagram. But yeah, you can catch us on Instagram, Our Sisters Network, Facebook group, Our Sisters Network, and the website. Make sure you get on there and get your newsletter and, join the movement, really.
Join the movement, absolutely.
Join the movement.
Kay Addman, thank you so much for joining us today, and I've really enjoyed this conversation, learning about you, and congratulations once again on raising almost £5,500 for your organization. That is, you've shown resilience, you've shown tenacity and dedication to this network, and all of us at BuildHer are right behind you, and we look forward to watching this organization grow over time.
And the same to you. I cannot wait to direct people your direction and say, listen, girl, you don't got no reason not to get this project off the floor. I have somewhere for you to go. So it'll be really great. And I definitely look forward to working with people like yourself in the future.
Thank you so much, Kay.
No problem. Great talking to you.
You too. Thank you.